You're welcome to another edition of the Power Circuit program, proudly brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. The power utility company keeps you informed about the transformational activities and its role of managing the national electricity grid. Here are the headlines in today's edition. First is a spotlight on the Minister of Power's quest for access to renewable energy. TCN to build second National Control Center in Abuja. The company has also begun the year with massive transmission line expansion works. In the interview segment, the regional transmission manager of the Osogbo region in Osun State, Engineer Bakari Kazim, gives an update of key milestones within the region in the past 3 months, especially as the region is a hub for power transmission between the north and south. I am Amara Agugoisi, anchoring this half-hour program. Although the federal government of Nigeria has focused more on expanding the national grid, it has not lost focus on ensuring that it promotes access to renewable energy for Nigerians who are unserved, especially the rural areas. It is on these notes that the Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, made giant strides in the renewable subsector as he commissioned various solar power projects in Adamawa and Kano states recently. Our reporter brings you more of these reports.
Through the Vision 30-30-30 electricity milestone, the federal government is targeting the delivery of 30,000 megawatts of electricity by 2030, with 30% of that coming from renewable energy sources. Demonstrating this commitment, the Minister of Power, Engineer Salim Maman, along with the Adamawa State Governor, Ahmadu Fintiri, commissioned 740 kilowatts solar Nigeria projects in some local government areas of the state. In his address, Engineer Maman said at least more than 14 new mini-grid projects have been commissioned across the country, providing reliable power supply to over 40,000 people in off-grid areas. These projects are mostly delivered through public-private partnership, confirming the confidence in the private sector. The 8 Adamawa solar power projects, which the minister commissioned, were executed across primary healthcare centers and hospitals in the 7 local government areas. They were conceived under a technical assistance grant by the European Union, implemented by the Department for International Development, DFID, and supervised by the Ministry of Power. The minister also charged the Adamawa State Government to scale up these pilot solar projects and ensure its sustainability. In his remarks, Governor Fintiri thanked the federal government and its partners for the support, saying the projects are highly beneficial to his people. The minister had also commissioned several similar projects in Kano in the company of Governor Abdullahi Ganduji of Kano State. The project, which were also replicated across other local government areas and funded through the same process with supervision by the Federal Ministry of Power. Commenting, Engineer Maman said the government was grateful to the European Union and their implementation partners who collaborated with the ministry to design and develop these projects to provide reliable electricity supply to improve Nigerian lives through health care, education, potable water, and job creation. 6 of the projects were commissioned at primary healthcare centers, while the other 6 were commissioned for primary and secondary schools. Speaking on the expectation for more of these landmark projects this year, the minister in an interview said the federal government is poised to deliver more power supply facilities which will be commissioned to improve the power supply delivery to Nigerians.
More, of course, yes, we're expecting more. We have the one of recent, I've just come back from the south. Yeah, I've seen, it's a project that has been abandoned some 10 years, some even 20 years. It's just to energize. So I want to assure Nigerians that we are going to award that work that will now evacuate the supply that is in the south and into the national grid. Yeah, we're expecting more commissioning any time, any moment. Even right now, I'm going to commission some of the projects before the end of this tenure through renewable energy.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is set to build the second National Control Center in Abuja to complement the existing center in Osogbo in Osun State. Our correspondent tells this story.
The management of TCN, led by the acting managing director and chief executive officer, Engineer Sule Ahmed Abdulaziz, was at the proposed site for the construction of the second National Control Center, NCC, in Gwagwalada town in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, for on-the-spot assessments of the possible location of the project. The management of TCN said the new project was to create redundancy and in anticipation of further expansion of the national electricity grid and the power sector in general. Speaking at the site, which already houses the 330, 132, 33 kilovolts Gwagwalada transmission substation, Engineer Abdulaziz said the assessment was a critical step towards commencing the project. Our purpose here is to check and see where we can locate a suitable place for the construction of a new second national control center after Osogbo, said Engineer Abdulaziz. Engineer Abdulaziz said the Civil Engineering Department of TCN will take a critical assessment of the site in more details and report back to the management for a final decision. He further disclosed that the contract for the execution of the project will soon be signed as the Bureau for Public Procurement (BPP) has issued a certificate of no objection to TCN for the commencement of work. According to him, the project, which is going to be a state-of-the-art facility, would have functional supervisory control and data acquisition (SCADA), an energy management system (EMS), and modern communication equipment compatibility with international standards. The acting managing director of the company also said the Gwagwalada project scheduled to be completed within 18 months and will complement the existing NCC Osogbo to bridge any fault without effects in the power transmission system.
The power circuit continues after this break. Don't go away.
Did you know that our high-tension transmission cables were built to withstand high temperatures except artificially induced ones such as fire? Did you know that burning bush or refuse dumps by TCN transmission tower base or along the transmission line's right-of-way is an offense? Did you know that the fire can cause high-tension transmission lines to snap and fall to the ground, electrocuting living things within the line radius? Did you know that extreme fire can cause the legs of transmission towers to buckle, and that buckling of the main frame of a tower would lead to its collapse and may even pull down other towers along that transmission line's route, causing untold damage to the line? Now that you know. Yes, now that you know, TCN is calling on all citizens of Nigeria to please desist from destroying our collective national investments. Be careful, do not set fire on trash or burn bush beside transmission towers or under electricity lines nationwide. Help us preserve the transmission grid and save the nation from blackout. TCN, transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
In pursuit of its transmission rehabilitation and expansion drive, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has begun this year by continuing the re-expansion on the 330 kV bringing KB to Sokoto transmission line. TCN will also start enhancement works on the 330 kV Ugwaji to Makodi transmission line and the 132-33 kV Ugwaji transmission substation in Enugu State.
The bringing KB to Sokoto transmission line work had begun in December 2020 and has continued this year, with the company starting on a good note, especially after the power sector recorded 2 all-time peak power on the national grid so far this year. TCN said the restringing of the bringing KB to Sokoto line has continued since January 12, 2021 and is expected to be completed by February 2021. As part of its strong commitment to safety of lives and property, TCN has collaborated with Kaduna Electric to ensure the power transmission line is not energized between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily during the period of the expansion work. Attesting to the importance of these expansion projects, Kaduna Electric in a statement said this will enable the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, to increase bulk power transmission to Kaduna Electric for onward distribution to the states. It further said the line reconductory work would also rectify the low voltage and consequent poor power situation and enable customers to enjoy more stable and quality power supply. For the multiple works on the transmission lines in Enugu State, TCN said the SSI will begin on January 25, 2021 and will be completed on February 25, 2021. For safety reasons, the company will ensure the lines are not energized between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. daily, after which normal power supply will be restored daily to all areas. This is to enable TCN to construct one-cycle transposition along the above-mentioned lines. No load will be interrupted during the period as the 330 kV Ugwaji transmission substation will be fed from the 330 kV transmission substations in Ikotekpene in Akwa Ibom State and New Haven in Enugu. The 330 kV Apple transmission substation in Benue State will be fed from the 330 kV Jos transmission substation.
You are on to the interview segment of this program. Today's interview personality is the Regional Transmission Manager of the Osogbo region of TCN in Osun State, Engineer Bakari Kazim. Engineer Kazim will be giving updates about the key milestones that the region has attained in terms of projects and operations within the past 3 months, especially as the region is a critical hub for power transmission between the north and south while controlling the national electricity grid.
My name is Engineer Bakari Kazim, the Acting General Manager, Osogbo Region. Osogbo Region covers about 4 states. We have Ondo, Osun, Oyo, and part of Kogi states.
What are the milestone achievements in bulk power transmission capacity in the region in recent time?
Within the last 3 months, we made a tremendous impact in this region. Before now, we have 1290 megawatts installed capacity. Although that installed capacity has not improved or increased within the last 3 months. However, we are able to deploy one of our 150 MVA and load it appreciably. As the system in most of the TCN stations is that we have an N+1 configuration, which means that if one equipment goes off, we should be able to still supply. I would like to recall that sometimes in February we lost one of our 150 MVA during the early stage of COVID. However, we were not able to deploy the redundant transformer immediately because of the pressure of the pandemic. However, I want to say that we have not only deployed it, it has been loaded appreciably to about 60 megawatts. This, of course, will mitigate against the effects of the transformer we lost. Recall also the other time that I told you that we also imported capacity, about 30 megawatts also from our Osogbo region, to also mitigate the effects in Ibadan. We also imported also another 35 megawatts from the Lagos axis to mitigate against the effects of the burning.
In terms of operations and maintenance, how would you describe the efforts in the region?
One of the very unique things about the Transmission Company of Nigeria is our robust maintenance culture. It's not only robust, we are very, very committed to it because it forms part of our key performance indicator. However, this year we are about to complete the scheduled annual maintenance for this year. The consolidated schedule also for next year is already out, and we're also preparing to take the maintenance of next year. But one of the major issues we have with maintenance is that we have to balance making sure that our maintenance are carried out as scheduled with supplying power to the discos. That balance is very, very essential, and all this is contingent upon the health of the grid. Whatever the situation is, if our maintenance cannot take place at the right time, we'll reschedule it and we'll make sure it is done.
What are the challenges officials in the region face so far?
One of the major challenges that is affecting us in the region is that of coping with the issue of way leave, the issue of getting a land for building the substation, and that of miners, especially in Osun State. Way leave has been a major problem. Our station in Akure has been completed, a 2x150 MVA 132/33 kV substation. It is fully completed, but because of way leave, it has been very, very impossible to get the lines to this place. We have way leave issue in 2 places in Ondo. We have at Ilara Monkey, we have at Igbaroke, and we also have way leave issue also in Osun State at Ilo. These issues are affecting us. If Akure substation comes in, one of the immediate benefits is that we will supply sufficient power to Ekiti. We will supply sufficient power to Akure and environ. And we will also be able to release another 60 megawatts that will be utilized in Osogbo. I want to say that that station is critical to stabilizing power supply in Southwest. And it is important that everyone that is involved in the issue of sorting out this way leave issue should please assist us as much as possible so that this way leave issue can become a thing of the past. Another issue that we face is that of after a land is given to us, either a group of people will go to court to contest the land that has been given to us. Some of these issues are really working against our performance. So we look forward to a situation where these things will be addressed. I also want to appreciate some of the states that are coming up now to package something that is very unique to provide substation land. Oyo State is taking the lead now, and we hope that other states will follow suit too. They are providing lands for substation ahead. They are trying to make available the right of way ahead of time, so that if the project eventually comes into their state, there won't be any issue of litigation or whaley problem or issues with the local. We look forward to having such a situation where we can, deliver to the nation without anybody stopping our people from doing their job.
Talking about occupational health and safety indices, how safe is the Osogbo region?
We work in a place where we will not take lightly the issue of safety. We provide our engineers with all that they need to do their job. Aside from providing it, we also have our safety officers that ensure and enforce the use of our personal protective equipment. We also provide all that is required as per the COVID issues for our staffs to make sure that they work in an environment that is safe. As for safety, safety is one of the things that we don't play with in TCN.
What are the statuses of ongoing projects in the region, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic?
The COVID-19 pandemic actually slowed down the pace of work. And as you are aware, in most of the countries abroad where we get some of this, our equipment, most of them are yet to start working fully. Despite that, we are still forging ahead. These days, we do our FAT even online. And we are not going to allow anything to stop us from doing our job. So we'll continually do our job. And though COVID is having some impact, but we will definitely get around it to get supply to the nation.
Do you have any message for miners who pose a threat to power transmission lines in the region?
I'd like to appeal to those who are mining either gold or sand around or along our right of way to please respect our ROW. We will want a situation where they will not damage our counterparts again, a situation where they will not threaten our towers with erosion, because this issue is actually getting out of hand, and we need to curb it urgently.
That was the acting regional transmission manager of the Osogbo region of TCN, Engineer Bakari Kazim. The regional head spoke about the key milestones in the region in recent time. Always keep a date with us for more informative interviews about the activities of TCN. As we sign out on this episode, let's take a look at the stories again. We brought you a spotlight on the Minister of Power and his quest for access for renewable energy. You heard that TCN has begun an intense move to build a second National Control Center in Abuja. The company has also begun the year with massive transmission line expansion works. And in the interview segment, the regional transmission manager of the Osogbo region in Osun State, Engineer Bakari Kazim, gave an update on the key milestones the region attained in recent time. We're glad you always stay with us on the Power Circuit program. You can view this episode and others on TCN YouTube channel. Please interact with us on these platforms because TCN needs your support to advance its mandate. The second wave of the coronavirus is on. Ensure you stay safe. Keep observing the safety protocols of non-pharmaceutical interventions like wearing a mask, washing or sanitizing your hands, and keeping physical distance as directed by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC. I am Amara Agugoisi. Thank you for staying with us.